Today, being near the end of the month of May, I thought I'd do a quick update on my garden here. So right now we're in the tomato house. So the drama behind the tomatoes, as I mentioned last time, we're transplanting from the germination room into the greenhouses. It caused trauma to my plants, so that's why it's not that big, the tomatoes, because I had to give it a lot of love and attention, meaning putting some compost down, pruning, trimming, a lot of attention. Also, I noticed during the hot days of May, the house got so hot that it started to burn the leaves, meaning like curling up the leaves and damaging the plant. So during those hot days, I would have to roll up the plastic to let some more cool air into the house. Here I'm starting a new type of trellis. It's basically taking one of the threads here, putting it into the ground of the bed and looping it up to the top of the rods here. So let's see how. I always have issues with trellising tomatoes. Sometimes I use the bamboo sticks and tie it to the bamboo sticks. Other times I use the cages because the branching out of the tomato leaves. I can never find a really good trellis. If one of you guys watching this video can tell me what is your idea for trellising tomatoes, let me know. Just outside the tomato house, we have some green beans, peas, snow peas, snap peas, and cucumbers. Christian decided to build a trellis for me. Almost done. So we completed this bed, the first two beds here, but he's also gonna complete the other two beds back there. So what you're gonna see, as if my cucumbers do manage to live through this weird weather we're having, hot and cold weather, you're gonna see the cucumbers grow up the trellis and over, and hopefully we can have the cucumbers grow downwards through the trellis and easily pick the cucumbers. On this side of the trellis, you're gonna see green beans. So over here where you see these tall plants, you're gonna see snap peas and snow peas. So let's take it back over here. Now, I like being creative in my garden when it comes to like different heights and colors and plants. So on this side of the trellis, like I said, is going to be green beans. Then I planted some sunflowers. Here's one sunflower here. And then along the edge of the bed, you'll see beets I planted, more beets. So it's going to be interesting as you see that grow. So you're going to have the green beans going over the trellis, nice beautiful yellow sunflowers popping up, and just below the sunflower as the base, you're going to see bushels of beets. So I'm excited to see how that's going to turn out. So over here again, I did the same thing, but instead of the green beans, you're going to see peas. And then the sunflowers along here, and over here we're going to have lettuce. I think I planted iceberg lettuce. I don't remember if it's butterhead or iceberg lettuce. So now we have my herb garden house. I call it my herb garden because, do you remember last month I put stones down trying to create borders? So here's the basil along the side. Then I have some chives growing along that border. And in between there you have thyme. And again, all of this I've grown from seed. Here's the parsley. I kind of envisioned like this middle area to be the sun of everything. I know parsley's green, but that's what I envisioned because I know it's very bushy. This curly lettuce here, we took over, so it's a perennial, so it's gonna grow up here every year. And over here we have the big leaf lettuce. I'm sorry, big leaf parsley. See the difference here between the curly and the big leaf? Next to it, look at this. This is the first time ever that cilantro has grown as a bushel like this for me via seed. Next we have dill. Dill is so awesome on fish. I love dill. Here, I haven't done anything yet in between here on this border, and I haven't completed this little sun right here. But in here, I did a new herb called marjoram. Not too sure what it will taste like. It smells sweet and it kind of looks like oregano. So I'm interested to see what that's going to turn out to be. And another one I planted is savory. I'm not too sure about that, but what it tastes like or what it's going to grow into, but we'll see. And then we have my rosemary. Oh my goodness, rosemary is so hard and so finicky to grow. See, some of them are dying here. But again, patience, watering, and love. Never know what's going to happen. Here's my oregano popping up from I replanted it from our old house. So that's coming up very strong. And again, over here I replanted my sage plant. It's coming back to life, slowly but surely. So going through the garden here, I planted, here's Brussels sprouts. So we have a lot of Brussels sprouts. The one with the very round leaf is Brussels sprout. Over here where you see it's flowering, see the difference in the leaves? That's broccoli. So all the way down here. And in these pots, I grew too many Brussels sprouts and broccoli, so I had to put them in pots. I may give away these plants because I have way too many. You know what? It's better. I find it's better to grow more than less because you never know if these plants would die on you, which some have. So I'm not disappointed, or it's not a disadvantage to me. I can always grow them in pots or give them away. I'm okay with that. So again, we have the green onions acting as a border. Look how they're flowering. So these flowers here will drop seeds into the garden bed and create more green onions. Over here, you see we have butterhead lettuce as a border here. Look at how I did the different colors. So I used the plants and being creative with the colors, and adds a little drama, a little texture. In the back here, this is kale. Kale's growing. So this bushel of kale was the first to go in the bed. And then here I started as seeds in the germination room. So see how it tails off to be very little. Again, with the transplanting from the germination room to the garden bed was a little drama for me. These little things coming out of the ground, popping on the ground, is sweet onion I planted into the bed. So all along here in the middle of row, we're gonna have sweet onion. Now, you may ask, why is there this plant here still in its pot? I'm trying to grow lavender. Lavender is just as difficult as rosemary. So if the weather changes, I can just pick them out of the ground, with the pots, and bring them inside. Because I love the scent of lavender. I don't want them to die on me again. So just on the other side of my herb house, we have again the green onions. Christian and I planted brand new garlic, so that's what you see here popping through. This is chard that was donated from one of Christian's cousins. Here we have the artichoke that I planted. Same problem again, moving from the germination room to outside, so it kind of stunted the growth. It did grow a little bit. And I had the kids a couple of days ago plant some peas on the other side. Over here, I haven't watered yet, is what do you call it, asparagus. We've been eating in a bunch. It's about 10 a day. And it's so funny, once I water it, if I water it now, the amount it grows in one day. So here we have asparagus, which I planted by seed this year. So if you can come a little closer, see these? This is the asparagus growing here. And the rest just basically grew up and starting to flower. So this is basically year 0 of what an asparagus will look like. Now with asparagus, the root system will generate asparagus every year, every spring. So if you are growing asparagus, just make sure you're committed to the next 30 years of having asparagus. So right now, I'm gonna put these seedlings in this around the same area where these old asparagus is.
Do you know how old the asparagus here is in this bed?
The previous owner, what did he say? It's about 4 years old, but I think it's even older. Like there's some that are maybe 4 years old, but I think maybe even because we had very thick ones. I don't know like how to tell after a long period of time, but okay, look at that one right there. This one, I'll point to it. That was a very thick one. That had to be like 10 years old. Okay, so let me dig.
So year 0, so these are going to be growing into these eventually within the next couple of years then.
Yeah.
So let's get you.
And you know what? Yesterday we discovered at the front of our house, the previous owner was also growing asparagus. So they must really love asparagus.
One of the best veggies out there.
But asparagus is not cheap in the grocery store,
No.
tell you. Especially when it's not in peak. Right now it's not that bad. The pricing is not that bad. You can get it maybe $2.99 a pound. But when off peak, it's like $5.99 up to $8.99 a pound. It can get ridiculous.
Yeah, I've actually seen it like a couple of weeks ago at $6.99.
Okay,
Just
so
a little Russell.
there we go. Oh, look at this one. There's one peeking right here. Every day now we've been getting about 10 spears per day, and we bunch them up, put it in the fridge, cold area, and been barbecuing. I need to find new recipes on how to cook asparagus, but there you go. So here's the green onions. A lot of green onions. A lot of people have been asking me, what is on top of these green onions? It flowers. This is where the green onion flowers at the top, and it opens up and the seeds drop into the soil and makes new green onions. So if I take the camera down into the bed here, you see these itty bitty green onions like this one here? That's like the seeds dropping in the soil and creating. That's why there's so much green onions in this bed. Over here, we have garlic that Christian and I planted, so that's coming through. And here is the first greenhouse we started working in. So look at the huge difference a month makes. So here we have our my gourmet beets. So there's gonna be like different color beets, yellow, romaine lettuce. Let me see if you can see the difference between the romaine. Here's the romaine starting to curl up here. And then beets. So I did the beets, romaine. And here's the usual purple burgundy type of beets. The way you know that beets are ready to be pulled out of the ground is if you take a look at the bottom here. See, right at the root there, you will start to see the beets start to pop up. So I don't see the beet, the head of the beet yet, so it's not ready to be picked yet. So more beets, more romaine lettuce. In the next bed, remember, we had the carrots. So we had the carrots, lettuce, and carrots again. So we've already started eating the lettuce. And with lettuce, once you cut it, it starts to grow back. So what you do is you cut it right at the bottom here. You take the knife and you just slice the bottom, and look, we had this a couple of days ago and it's already started to grow again. So hopefully this lettuce and carrots can last us the rest of the year. Over here is our gourmet carrots. So purple, red, yellow carrots on the side. Another type of butterhead lettuce. We've had some here. Look, right here, I did cut, and look how much it's grown back. Maybe about a month ago, I had some of this lettuce. And I had to do some transplanting of some garlic. So I put it over here, and it's taken. Over here, we have the broccoli. So, broccoli, I'm doing an experiment here. See how up here, this is broccoli. Broccoli turns into these beautiful yellow flowers. So it doesn't look like anything has grown, but I'll do some close-up. There are things that have grown. So again, I have kale over here. And I did plant back there some, you can see the little, it's dill. And over here with the sticks as a marker, I planted some lavender. Let's see if I can get lavender right there. It's coming through. More lavender seeds, kale. So this bed is going to be basically lavender, then kale, then dill. See, here are some seeds that I planted in for the kale. Over here is the tomatoes. So the tomatoes are looking just like how they were in the greenhouse. The tomato greenhouse. It's just gonna take time for me to continue to prune and put down compost, fertilize them, give them lots of love. Here on the other side too. Not looking that great, but I'm not gonna give up. Over here, I have leftover. I call this the leftover bed. So any excess plants I had, so I had red long peppers and basil. Over here is spinach. So this right here is spinach. And then leftover broccoli in the back. And down here, I did plant some more cilantro. Those seeds are coming up now. And then basil. Yeah, that's that bed. And here we are at the last greenhouse, which is the hot pepper house. So I'm still not finishing this house. I still need to do some more planting. But here is the peppers. They're coming along, surely and slowly. Over here is the sweet peppers. I do have another video on how to some quick tips on how to grow these peppers in terms of pruning and watering and other things like that. I will put a link at the bottom. So yeah, that's it. That's our monthly update. See you next time.